At Lane Media, I've had the opportunity to work with hundreds of different businesses. And one of the biggest things, if you have a business that is having really high cash months and having really low cash months, and just that inconsistency, that roller coaster of beginning, going, from your first 5K month and then doing 35K, but then you do 8K, but then you do, 27K, but then you do 5K again. These are like the biggest things that cause those inconsistencies in sales. And the biggest things from my experience that you can look out for in your own business to avoid these roller coasters that you get on. So, when it comes down to it, the number one thing is when you're doing organic or content marketing and you're posting content on the internet that's driving all of your lead flow, like from your Instagram, from your TikTok, from your YouTube. The biggest thing is like the number of posts going out. And this seems really dumb, but sometimes people will come to us and they'll be like, "Oh, I just haven't made any money this month." And we start asking questions, and turns out, well, they stopped posting on their platforms. So the number one thing you can do is one, just track how many posts are going out. It's really easy to do. You can just use a Google Sheet to do this, or you can look at how many posts you posted using Meta Business Suite or any of these other tools that you have that the platforms typically give you. Now, what you want to do if you're having a hard time being consistent with those posts going out is you want to use a platform where you can schedule the content. Now, I don't recommend doing this all at once because, sometimes the algorithms don't like scheduled content. They obviously like content going out from within. But if it's just you and you don't have money to hire a VA to do this, which is your second option, I'd recommend finding a platform and scheduling at least 50% of your content going out, and then schedule the other 50% of your content manually. Have it alternate on days of the week, for example. Now, if you can, hire a VA, and if you're paranoid about that, have them post everything manually for you. But if you're going to do that, you're going to want to create a Typeform or something that'll file into the Google Sheet so you can track how much they're posting and when they're posting that content. That way you can have that data moving forward so you don't have any unexpected, like, oh, where did all of my leads go? Which can happen very easily and can be very scary when you're running a small business and you just hired someone like your VA, because it's an extra cost and it can be extremely nerve-wracking. So obviously do that, and only like do that if you're comfortable. If you're not comfortable, there's tons of free tools out there like Metricool that you can get where you can schedule your content out weeks in advance. Now, I recommend scheduling your content out about a week in advance. That way, if you see any like downfalls in your impressions and views, you can change that content for the next week to something that will obviously perform differently than your previous content has. Now, the second thing that I've seen a ton, and it's directly related to this first one, is you dig down, they're posting content, or at least they appear to be posting content, but they don't know where their leads are coming from. You dig deeper into it, and it's like they're posting a ton on TikTok, but it turns out most of their sales, or it appears that most of their sales were coming from their Instagram stories where they haven't been super active. So being able to have tracking with your call booking system to where those leads, or whatever lead form, whatever lead submission platform you're having, where those leads are actually coming from, makes a huge difference. Just simply because if you're getting most of your leads from Instagram, what are you going to put more effort into, Instagram or TikTok? If you're getting most of your leads from TikTok, you're going to put more effort into that than you are into Instagram. So be sure to know where your leads are coming from. Another trick, if you're doing call bookings, for example, is you can just create different call bookings and label them with the platform internally. So it's not visible to your clients, but label them internally. That way you can know where your leads are coming from. And the last thing, this is the third and like the ultimate reason why so many people have no idea why they go from, making 30K back down to 10K like every other month, is how long they're waiting to contact these leads that are coming in. We talk to people all the time, and they like know where their leads are coming from and they know what their impressions are, but it turns out like they're booking out 2 weeks in advance. And we live in a society of instant gratification. And if you're not contacting your leads within like 24 to 48 hours, you're just going to lose them. They go from being really piping hot, like right off the stove, to they're not interested. They already found a solution to their problem, because that's the society we live in. You are not the only solution to their problems. They can find other people, on the internet, their lives, through Google, that can solve their problems for them. So the number one thing you can do is, contact them as soon as possible. This is going to increase your show rate on application calls, and it's going to increase your overall conversion rate because that is when they are their hottest. Now, if you're doing all three of these things, you're going to be able to have a much better idea and have much more consistency in your business, because these are the three things that are going to directly correlate with your lead flow and your sales, which, is direct correlation to your revenue. As a bonus tip on this video, for those of you who stuck around, if you want to have more consistency in your business, there's one of two things you can do. You can create some type of monthly recurring revenue in your business. So as like high ticket sales, having some sort of retainer for your services, or adding on sort of an agency model utilizing a skill. Now, I'm not saying this is what you should do if you're running a high ticket model, but if it's something where you really want that consistency and it's something where you really struggle, it can be a great option for you. The other thing that you can do that will make a huge difference is simply upselling on the back end. So having a progressive product suite where the customers that you're signing once they come in, keeping them in your ecosystem, because it is extremely more expensive and time consuming to acquire a new customer than it is to retain a current one. So if you have an offer that, for example, let's say you're a fitness coach and you have a weight loss offer, and the first offer is to get them to lose their first 10 pounds. You might want to create one or two offers to lose their next 20 pounds, or if it's someone who they only need to lose 10 pounds, have another fitness related like offer where it gets them from first 10 like losing your first 10 pounds to, seeing your six pack for the first time, or, something along like those lines. Kind of cheesy, but you get the point here. Because by doing that, if you can, create an offer that you can upsell them into, you're going to retain that customer for longer, and you can have more consistency in your revenue because that customer just continues to pay you over time. So hopefully you got some value from this video. If you did, please hit that subscribe button or drop me a follow, because there's just going to be more videos with more content and more value added every single day.